Well, Coach, first of all, thanks a lot for your time. It's a pleasure to have you here. And first of all, I want to ask you about your visit to La Nucia. How's this days been going since the off-season began?
Well, the sunshine is always out here. It's amazing. I asked there's a kid driving Carmelo, the kid that's driving us around. I asked him where the golf courses were, and he told me that it never rains here. He's not lying, man. The sun's out every day. It's beautiful, and the camp's been beautiful. I mean, this if you have not been to this facility, it's unbelievable. Somebody told me that their dream is to be able to train every Olympic sport, and they're on their way. I mean, they have a mountain biking track. I mean, it's I think they're putting, I talk about golf, they're putting a top golf here. Football is everywhere. But the basketball facilities are great. I mean, I think we had, I mean, somewhere up to 70 kids on the court at one point, all moving, and it's been great. It's been absolutely beautiful.
I wanted to ask you, Coach, because you've worked with all age kids and players. What is the first thing you want to teach?
I mean, when you get to, I mean, obviously the younger kids, you're still working on fundamentals, but like one of the things that we're doing here is just teaching them offensive spacing. There's a term like herd of cats where they all bunch up and they all move around together, just teaching them about spacing, moving without the ball. I think after about age 12, 13, somewhere in there, if they can learn to really move without the ball. And then when you get to 14, 15, and 16, you really need to do it. You can really, it's not that you need to do it, but you can really stand out with everybody else's, your ability to move without the ball and not stand. And more importantly, not just sit there and call for the ball. Like you pass it and then just stand there and ask for it back. And something I've just kind of brought here.
Well, that's something grown players have to do, and sometimes they don't. So you have a 20-year career role in the NBA now. How has the game changed from your perspective?
I mean, that's a big part. The spacing and the speed,
Hmm.
physicality of
Yeah.
it has really changed. Offense is always a kind of one step ahead of the defense, but then the defense catches up to it. Like one of the things that we're doing here is we're playing a lot of four out, for a long time.
Yeah.
And, people started playing five out, and they've kind of moved away from playing a lot of five out because you got to spread the court a little bit more. I mean, I joke about this, but it's, the team that really hasn't yet is the Denver Nuggets, and because they have Jokic, so they can do whatever they want with him. It's 4 or 5 out, three out. It doesn't matter. It's gonna work with him. So I think that's the biggest part of it is, and I also think the big man is coming back a little bit. A little more post play is going to happen. It's a really good question. The trends of the NBA, a lot of more, driving the basketball is a big part. And I think that has caused physicality. There's more downhill drives.
Yeah.
And so when people talk about speed and physicality and movement, that's kind of what started it.
And how does that affect the vision of the people, of the fans, of the tactics? Because you have these players that don't really need much tactics to
Yeah.
get to the basket and to score points, but then there's work from assistants, coaches that
Yeah.
it isn't really shown because of the quality of the players. Really, they
Yeah.
don't
I
they
mean,
don't really need that.
yeah, I mean, the first person that comes to mind is Shea. Everybody talks about, is he flopping or getting fouled? I mean, he's fouling. Like you're fouling him. I mean, he's so good, and so he play. There's a great saying, tell me if you can understand this. You play at a pace that you can read the game, and you play at a speed where you can
Mhm.
still make decisions is kind of what I mean. And he plays at his speed so much. Joel does it for us. Tyrese has the ability to just change speeds.
Mhm.
For us now, Jaylen Brown plays with such downhill force. Those guys are elite because they play at a pace.
Yeah.
They make the game play at their pace, not the other way around.
And since all these changes we're living, they are nowadays the trend. How does the assistant coach role changes also?
Well, yeah, you got to figure that stuff out. I mean, we got to
Like a puzzle.
hours looking at tape and making our hair do one of two things: turn gray or fall out. That's
Yeah.
I always say that. But yeah, I mean the roles of assistant coaches has changed so much since I've been in the league, and a big part is as the world evolves, we have so many resources, so many statistics in different ways, and now they track how many times a player goes to the offensive glass. And just that's just one example. And so now you have so many more resources of information that you can pass on to the players. And so now I think the biggest role that has changed is you have to decide what's most important to feed the players so you don't overwhelm them, because you can definitely overwhelm yourself. You can gather too much information and you
Yeah.
say things, none of it makes sense. And so I think that's a big role. That's a big challenging role, that a big challenging issue that I have is navigating all the information that's given to us.
Now you guys have a new star in the house with Jaylen Brown. What does it mean for the franchise? His arrival.
I mean, it's terrific. I mean, obviously losing Paul will hurt in some areas, but Jaylen had an incredible year and deserves every accolade that he had, and it's going to be a great addition. I love I obviously love that. I really, the Dean Wade signing is a big one, and then I've always
Yeah.
liked Anthony Simons. I'm just being in the West and seeing him in Portland and watching him grow under CJ McCollum and Dame for those years, and then we added some bulk with Harkporty and yeah, I mean, I love our offense, our off-season moves. I mean, it's really navigated some it's filled a lot of gaps. But I mean, anytime you have a chance to go get a player like Jaylen Brown, I mean, obviously you do it, and his type of personality, I think, will really fit in with Tyrese and Joel, and and VJ. I mean, VJ was such of a pleasant surprise for us this year. I think he was a surprise to everybody but himself. I think he plays with so much confidence. So
In projects with stars like Joel and now Jaylen, Tyrese, where the pressure to win is already a reality,
yeah,
how does the coaching staff manage to balance?
yeah. I mean, I think it goes with the job. I mean, I really don't feel any more pressure than we did last year or even the year before. I think if you're at this level anyway, it's just in you. I mean, it's you want to compete. We compete for a living, and so yeah, the pressure. If you want to let it get to you, it can get to you. But for me, it's more the desire to win. I think is more the verb I use.
And now speaking of the actual champs, we've seen the Knicks win with a point guard like Jaylen Brunson. What is the most important position right now in the NBA, if there's any, or much more like a profile player, not the position? Because you talked about Jokic, but Jokic plays like a point guard in kind of
Uh-huh.
way. So, what are your thoughts about that?
I think you have to you need a player that can play downhill, get into the paint himself or for others. You got to be able to defend your position. And I think all those players that you just talked about, they might not win first team all league defense every year, but Jalen Brunson is very good at the team defense concepts that they do. Jokic is another one that, again, he's not switching out on Shea and stopping Shea every time, but like he knows their rules and their concepts of what they're trying to do. And I mean, what makes great players is their IQs. And so you got to be able to do the offensive stuff, which all of them can do, but then to really understand the game plan defensively. I mean, one of the best I've ever been around is Devin Booker. When I was in Phoenix, I mean, his ability to execute a game plan from all five positions was unbelievable.
And now there has been like 6, 7, 8 international MVPs.
Yep.
The U17 team just dominated the World Cup with
Yep.
Bumche and others. Do you
Yeah.
think U.S. system is also improving in that way? With the
Yeah, I think there's so much competition now that the guys are learning to are playing against level competition. I think, where I would say 5 to 10 years ago, they had to really work hard to get to different levels of competition, and now it's everywhere. They're like I'm involved in the Adidas circuit a little bit. I coached, there's a big tournament in Italy in Treviso. I coached that, and I coached another one in the States, and like I've seen the same kids now bouncing around. And their ability just to go find great competition and good basketball has really helped their growth. And I think that's a big part of it. Like DeBonce and Peterson both played on definitely Darren Peterson played on that circuit. VJ played in the circuit. And so I think it really helps learning, again, learning how to do things without the ball, which is a hard thing to do when you're one of the most talented players at the young age. Is they all know how to defend and rebound and pass the ball and cut and do all
Yeah.
these different things.
And last question, Ryan, if you let me. I want to talk about your relationship with Nick Nurse.
Yeah.
Your roles were even reversed in your early days in the
Yep.
USBL. How's his philosophy on giving you freedom to make adjustments and also your workflow?
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, I think even with the staff and the team is you gotta, he does such of a good job putting us in positions to, use our strengths. And I think that's what he's kind of done with me. He's kind of moved me around a little bit. I worked on the defense for a long time, and now I help him a lot during the games and special situations and overseeing both kind of the offense and the defense at times under unique situations. Yeah, so I mean, obviously the relationship has been there for a long time, but the basketball relationship still continues to grow, and it's been great. He's a very easy guy to work for.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Brian, for your
good
time.
interview. Very nicely done.
Thank you very much. Very interesting from your part, and I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Natalia, too. Nos vemos. Thank you.